love that the message is, you know, to leave judgment behind, and that's kind of what I got as a reader. So when did you kind of decide to stop giving about what people thought?
Well, it's very important. If you want to navigate this life, it's important to lighten your load. And, you know, worrying about what other people have to say takes a lot of energy. I remember turning 30, and it really dawned on me that not only do I not have to like everyone doesn't have to like me. And being fine with that is such a revelation. It is such a revelation.
We do see so many of your own personas, you know, there's Rupaul the author, there's Rupaul the TV personality, Rupaul in drag, but who is Rupaul when you put on your sweats, makeup's gone, camera's gone, who is that guy?
I am an observer. I feel like an alien who fell to this planet, and I remember as a kid, never fitting in, but thinking, okay, I want to fit in, I'm going to figure this thing out, and I looked at society and I looked at how people behaved, and I thought, okay, I can try that. But the further I looked at it, the more I realized, I want no part of that. Stay an outsider, keep fresh eyes as an observer, and be in a constant state of wonder of it all, and of how incredible it is. But you know, there's the other side of that too, and this is true for all sweet, sensitive souls or people who are awake, is that you know, there's the darkness too, and I acknowledge the darkness, but it's about having an even playing field.
You come up with the persona, because I imagine when you enter the world of drag, that is a big decision that then you live with, like any name you give yourself.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, I was telling someone earlier, you know, I've always been ambitious, and I've always liked to look under the hood to see how things actually work. So I knew that if I was going to do drag and make it to above 14th Street, so to speak, I had to calculate the image. And what I did was add 1 part Dolly Parton to 2 parts Cher, 1 part David Bowie, and a big heaping spoonful of Diana Ross, right? And then I took, and this is scientific, I took the subversive sexuality out of my persona so that Betty and Joe Beercan could invite me into their living room. And you know what? It worked!
It worked! It couldn't have worked better.
So I think that's a good segue. You mentioned the word vote that way into the current administration. And here at Salon, we are political and we also work in the culture sphere. What are your thoughts on the current administration's recent challenges to both trans bathroom laws and also LGBT rights? Do you have any sensibility about what is happening and what we can do, or what would you say?
You know, when I think of what's happened in the past few years, it has very little to do with policies and more to do with a bigger dialogue that we don't discuss, which is the duality and the double narrative that each human walks around with at all times. There are 2 of you. The one that says, well, I want equality and I want people to be forward-thinking, and that same voice also has an ad on Craigslist that says, no femmes, no fats, and no Asians. That sort of dichotomy that lives in each of us. So when you think about this election really is, what's happening politically, is about the old guard being phased out, they're obsolete. If you worked in a factory and you haven't learned how to do something else, you're obsolete, and that's just nature. Nature is phasing those people out, and they, as a last-ditch effort, elected this buffoon to try to turn back the hands of time, which unfortunately just doesn't work.